Welcome back to G's K-Love Lounge, your spot for all things Korean all in one corner. I'm your host, Uni Gwen. Hope you're having a fantastic week, Uni Crew, because on today's episode, I get a little personal. I'm going to be sharing my own journey with K Skincare and how discovering these amazing routines has completely changed my life, my confidence, and even the way I feel every day. I'll be dropping in the skincare I'm using later on in the episode. But for now, grab your Americano and let's chat. Let's rewind back to my teenage years for a second. Back then, my skin type was oily. My skincare routine was pretty much non existent. And the fact that I was an athlete who practiced in hot valley weather temperatures, reaching the high 90s, well, all of that didn't help. I struggled with acne everywhere on my face. Chin acne, check. Forehead acne, check. Blackheads on my nose, check. Confidence was so low that I had even given myself my own nickname, and my friends didn't even know about this. I called myself Crater Face. But my 17-year-old self went shopping to the finest American retail stores. And you guessed it, guys, that was Target and Walmart. And I always remember walking into the store, going to that aisle, and just seeing the same things over and over. That medicated acne brand section that I'm talking about. They have some brands like Clean and Clear, Stridex, Neutrogena. And let me tell you guys, I tried all of them, and some of them just gave me these really painful memories of my skin burning because all it really felt like was a big slap of alcohol on my skin. And it definitely dried me out too. Now we're going to move on into my 20s and 30s. And no, my skin acne wasn't done with me yet. Now, in my first episode, I had mentioned to y'all that I did work for Disney World. And in the beginning, I didn't think this would be a place where I needed to wear makeup, but I was very wrong. Here's a question for you, Uni Crew. What do you get when you mix oily skin, makeup, and humid Florida weather? You're correct if you were thinking acne as your weekly visitor. I noticed that my skin went from oily type to combination, and this is where I really started incorporating the three most important letters of the alphabet, and that is SPF. Now that I'm a grown woman, I start spending a little bit more money on better quality products for my skin, and that's when I started realizing it was worth it to do that. So now that I'm 40, I definitely splurge a little bit more and start concentrating on the little mini goals on my face that I want to focus on. And the only thing that has actually got me there and actually helped me with this process and this journey of my skin being where it is today is Korean skincare. Honestly, Unicrew, Korean skincare is still relatively cheaper than like your big brands out there that you know in Macy's and Gottschalk's. Okay, that's like a millennial thing. But these were the nice stores that you'd go shopping in where they have like all of the high-end makeup, all of the high-end skincare. And of course, you have your Lancome and Estee Lauder. But Korean skincare is still cheaper than both of those. And they do miraculous things. I highly suggest getting into it. Korean skincare tends to focus more on long-term skin health, layering multiple gentle products, and using innovative ingredients like snail mucin. And the snail mucin, I know, very crazy. Every time I think of this, the image that flashes in my head, or in my mind, I should say, is of a snail just kind of like moving on the sidewalk, but then you see all of its mucin like kind of like trailing behind it. And I know it's like a little icky to think about, but snail mucin is actually used to hydrate and protect the skin. And a line that uses it very well is Cosrx. And let me spell that for you because maybe you won't really be able to hear me clearly on the mic, but it's COSRX. And they have a really good cleanser. And with this one, a little bit really goes a long way. Like I'm probably saying less than half of a dime or maybe like half of a dime. And you just get a little bit of water, lather it up, and it's enough to clean your whole face. The way it just foams on your skin, it leaves your face. It's just so soft. I mean, it feels like a dream. And I actually ended up giving a half brand new bottle to my friend Heather. And just letting you know, she ended up loving this cleanser and she even repurchased it. So, there's something going on pretty good with snail mucin. And this year, the big old hype was PDRN. And if you don't know what PDRN is, it's also known as salmon sperm. I know, guys. I know you're looking at me with these eyes from the other side of wherever you're playing this at, but it literally was the rave this year. And it's all over Olive Young. It was all over Yes Style. And those are the places online that you can be buying this stuff from. And I recommend waiting on Olive Young because Olive Young has a sale at the end of the year, which I'll get more into. But I'll be making an episode where to be purchasing these skincare products and the good websites, and I'll be dropping all of that in there. But yes, PDRN, let's get back to the benefits. They claim to be anti-aging, skin regeneration, hydration, inflammation reduction. And that's just some of the few that I'm going to name, guys. But getting back to where I am today with my skin, the acne breakouts do not run the show anymore. I do get an occasional 4 pimples on my chin during that hormonal window, but for the most part, I feel like my skin glows on its own without makeup. I have actually gone out to eat in public at a restaurant with only eye makeup on. And I'm being honest with you guys, it was like one of those shock moments that I didn't think I was ever going to have in this lifetime. I just couldn't stop looking at my skin and feeling it because it just looks so good. And to get to that milestone in this lifetime is rewarding just because of all of the issues I ever had and all of the disappointments I ever had. Also, my scars, and those were on the side of my temples. That was a big one. There was a lot more texture back then, and now there's a lot less texture. And I have no idea why I would always break out on the side of my temples, but it was really bad. And yeah, I even get compliments on my skin now, which I really can't believe. I never thought I would be someone that would be getting those kind of compliments, like, ever. I mean, I think I would be getting compliments for like my eyes or some eyelashes or whatnot. But skin? No, no. Hey, Uni Crew. I know that it can be overwhelming, especially not knowing where to start. But the good thing is, I recommend you start slow and gradual. And that means incorporating at least 2 to 3 products into your routine right now. For example, let's try a toner. And I'm going to pick one that's good for all skin types, even that sensitive skin type. This one gave no allergic reactions, and it's called the Round Lab Moisturizing Birch Juice Toner. Now, this stuff literally looks like water in a bottle. I mean, I even thought it was water at first, but it's not. It's actually very refreshing when you put this on your skin. It doesn't feel sticky and there's no scent, which I really appreciate because I'm not a big person with like rose type scents. Those kind of tend to give me just a headache. It can be a little too much for me. So I really appreciate that this toner doesn't have any of that kind of scent. And this toner is really light. It doesn't feel thick, and it's good for when you're having a bad acne day or when you're having a good skin day. It's not going to make the acne any worse. This is an all around good toner and it's real simple, and I just love using this. This one is actually the one I tend to recommend to a lot of people to try out at first. Now, let's recommend an ampule because I know a lot of people are not familiar with what an ampule is, but it's just another fancy word for serum. But most of the ampules are actually put on during your nighttime skincare routine. But it's just a little stronger than a regular serum. And the one that I'm using right now is the Skin 1004 Centella Madagascar, and it's actually sold in Costco as well. I recommend picking it up. It's got 2 huge bottles, and I think I only paid like $20 for both of them, which is pretty good because They're actually a decent size. And I've actually recommended this to 4 other women. And I also know that they're using it right now. And they have all told me that they just come to praise this serum. Like their skin is smoother. And one lady that uses it has rosacea and she says it calms her rosacea down. You can also get this on Amazon if you're interested, but like I said, I got mine in a 2-pack at Costco. So hopefully it will circulate at your nearest Costco as well. And the third thing that I highly, highly recommend that you put this into your life starting today is the sheet masks. I mean, this has got to be that spa relaxation feel you should be getting every night because you deserve this. And some of my favorite ones to recommend is, of course, MediHeal. I've got to say, MediHeal is probably one of my favorite top 5. And this is why, because every time I'm having this acne battle with my face, with my skin, it just dries out my acne, the ones that are red and it looks like it's about to be hell. It really calms them down because it has that medicacesoid, which is also known as tiger grass, and it gives you this intense hydration like a soothing solution. It's like all of the claims that they say about this stuff is true. It's just something you got to try. You can buy these at Amazon, and I recommend getting the 10-pack if you're going to get them because I know you're going to love this stuff. Now, the other one I also recommend is the Biodance Biocollagen Real Deep Mask. Now, that one's the one that went viral for a reason, and you can definitely do a lot with this one. And what I mean by that is you can put this one on overnight and sleep with it, which is how they recommend you to use it. Yeah. And it also has a great job of staying power. You can get your day started or you can get your pre-night started. So you can start wearing this around 6 or 7 o'clock and you can put this on and then start doing other things like laundry. You can wash the dishes. You can even cook. Because of the staying power, it does not feel like it's going anywhere. And with all the goodness of the staying power being said, I am going to let you know that when you take this off and you see that pretty bouncy, shiny glow all over your skin, this is an instant glow. It can be pretty intense, but it does only last for about 1 to 2 days. So this is that mask that you probably want to use when you're going to events, like a date, a wedding, things like that. I recommend putting this on the night before because when you wake up, you're going to have that instant glow and it's going to last through the night. My friend Barbara is really hooked on these. Thank you, Uni Crew. That is my skincare journey. Thank you for listening. Now I want to hear yours. What's worked for you? What hasn't? What are you curious to try? Please share your experiences with me on Instagram at GSK Lounge. I'd love to feature your stories here. And do you hear that sound, Uni Crew? That is the lounge and it is closing for now. But I'll be back in 2 weeks for episode 3.